The scammers and cheaters are back, baby, and they dramatically impacted the players in my server, that's server 32. And we were wondering how it was possible that players would have literally everything maxed. Their commanders all maxed, their artifacts all maxed, everything maxed out on their accounts within 10 days of the server being opened. So stick around in this video for the things you need to know about scamming in mobile games and how this was addressed in Call of Dragons with a mass banning. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and you may remember that about a year ago on my channel, I covered the refund scam that was taking place in Rise of Kingdoms. In that particular scam, there was a middleman who'd say, hey, I'll get you packs for a discount, baby. And that might sound really good because packs are really expensive. In fact, I have been spending, on multiple occasions, over $1,000 to max multiple of the packs in the shop. But the way that the scam worked in Rise of Kingdoms was that the middleman would say, hey, give me a fraction of the money. I'll buy all the packs for you. I have a way to get a discount. And so they would do that. You give them your account information. They buy the packs. Everything seems good until some number of months or years down the road, the person who bought all those packs for you then refunds everything. That left your account completely screwed, where the developers, when you refund a pack, flip everything into the negative that you had gotten. So your account basically gets completely locked up and shut down in Rise of Kingdoms. At some point, even, you can't leave your city with commanders anymore if you were caught as a part of that scam in Rise of Kingdoms. And there were probably a few other variants of that scam that were happening. They all got caught for Rise of Kingdoms. Those players got pretty wrecked. And there were definitely consequences associated with that. Now there's a scam that's back in Call of Dragons, and the developers have caught it. And let me tell you, man, here's the way this scam theoretically worked. There were people advertising all over social media that they could get you these bundles at a discount. So you would pay the middleman something like $400 to $500. They would go in and get you millions of gems, and then they would also buy all the bundles for you. And I would only assume that this is being done with stolen credit card information. That's the only way I can imagine this sort of working sort of profitably for them, because there's obviously no shot that you can get many thousands of dollars worth of stuff, including, by the way, over 2 million gems, I'm told, is what they would load into an account. There's no way you could get all that stuff, okay, for the $450. No shot. And we were wondering why it is, right, that our alliance in Call of Dragons, one of our family alliances, was having to deal with these maxed out players just absolutely decimating everybody. And all it takes is one player with a maxed out account to just wreck a regular alliance in this game within 10 days, because it's just not normal. Like, it's insane what these guys were able to do. So they beat down these bridges, they came in, they zeroed cities, they caused all kinds of havoc. It was a huge problem what these players were doing. I mean, it was really catastrophic. And now they are completely missing from the leaderboard, by the way, which I was just showing you. They've been banned, okay? They were completely banned. I can't speak authoritatively as to whether or not Quang and Cigar were actually, cheating or not, but the developers seem to have made their judgment and issued a ban here, which is wild, man. And they're not the only ones. In fact, 65 people got banned. Let me show you what the developers said about this. This is a message from Rusty Leo in the official Discord. Dear Lords, recently we found certain Lords obtaining bundles through illegal means, while the loophole has been fixed now. While analyzing the issue, we've received clues from many warm-hearted Lords. Thank you for your efforts in helping us fix the loophole in time. Your contribution to the fair gaming environment will be long engraved into Maris. For a fairer gaming environment, we will immediately permanently suspend the accounts of 65 players who maliciously used the loophole and caused serious impact. Also, for other Lords using the loophole, their illegal resources and items will be deducted, including those from bundles. Insufficient resources or items will be deducted to negative numbers. Purchases made through third parties may easily lead to leaking of personal information, credit card theft, failed purchases, account theft, or other dangers. Please refrain from using third-party platforms and safeguard your account password. If it's discovered that a player has made purchases via any third party, severe measures will be taken, including but not limited to removal of inappropriately obtained earnings, account freezing, and permanently account banning. Okay? The Call of Dragons team is committed to guaranteeing a fair environment and safeguarding each and every player, in-game assets, and personal information. As we continue to improve the game, we sincerely hope that all players join us in creating and maintaining a healthy, fair gaming environment. 65 players is an absolutely devastating number because remember, it only takes one to devastate an early game alliance. So this is absolutely brutal, man. We were dramatically impacted by this particular exploit. And it's really wild, man. Now, look, I'm plugged into some amount of the rumor mill here. And my understanding is that once some people start cheating like this and you hear that someone else is doing it, you almost have to also cheat to be able to compete, assuming that there isn't a developer intervention, which there has been. But I would be willing to bet that some number of the 65 here were sort of cheating as well in a self-defense against the players that, I don't know, were also cheating. I mean, there's no defense for it, man. There really is no defense for it. Players who cheat ultimately will get caught, regardless of the intention. And this is pretty brutal, man. I don't know who all has been banned yet, but I know it's a lot of people. 65 is a big number. I know I've been jumping up on the leaderboard quite significantly for power. And, you know, I love that developers have jumped in and banned people and moved pretty quickly, I would assume, on this. But, like, our starting zones are getting invaded. And is it because we lost ground because there was cheating? Or is it because it was authentic and earned? And I don't know what the answer is. I can certainly say that on one front, right, which I'll show you in game again. All right, so it's right over here. This war front with these two passes, I mean, it was like two monster T5 players decimating things. And my understanding is that there's just a bunch of people that were in these alliances that are now banned. I mean, these guys were over 600 million power, and they're now down to 245 million power. For perspective, okay? So like a 400 million power drop. I don't know if players are just switching between alliances. That's entirely possible, and I don't want to frame that up in the wrong way if I'm missing complete, you know, information here. Now these guys are 305 million power. I don't know what their power was before, but I'll simply say there were a lot of players causing just serious havoc, and the consequences here are very significant for the people who are playing honestly. So I'm glad that those players are banned, although it just leaves me wondering, like, so what do we do from here as players who got wrecked by other people who were cheating? And I guess we try to find a way to forge forward. I mean, we got folks knocking on our doorstep here, and I don't know how many of their players were caught in this. I don't know how many of our players got caught in this. What I can tell you, though, is that under no circumstance should you try to use one of these third parties. And the developers said it themselves. If you get caught with any third-party purchaser, you're going to get wrecked. And I think it's really interesting that they made that really clear message that there's no accepted or official third-party vendor. Like someone may say, we're of an official third-party vendor. There is no such thing. The developers have officially said that if someone tries to buy gems and stuff on your behalf, it's a scam. So for those of you who don't want to get caught up in this sort of stuff, the big takeaway is don't ever give your information to a third party, especially if they're offering to buy things on your account. GG, man. So I don't know what the game plan is for the rest of our season and the path forward. I think the leadership team for my alliance has got to sort of figure that out. But we're still all kind of reeling from this absolutely massive shift into who the top power players are in our server. Crazy, man. I mean, look, the problem with cheating in this style of game is that it completely undermines the competitive environment. So I'm really glad the developers have banned the players. But now we got to figure out what's next, man. So if you want to see what happens next, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to see more information about the intricate refund scams and cheats that were taking place in Rise of Kingdoms, card will be in the end screen for those videos in just a second.